afternoon. My name is EricaP, and today I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker. She is a sophomore here at Virginia Tech in HNFE, and she has been a part of the Da Vinci Living Learning Community as well as New Life Christian Fellowship, and an active participant in Relay for Life. Her topic today is on puppy mills and the evils that they bring into the world. She's taken multiple animal science classes in high school as well as at Tech, so she's more than qualified to present this topic to us. Please help me in welcoming Miss KellieH.
Thank you, Erica, for that introduction, and thank you guys for having me. So like Erica said, my name is KellieH, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about puppy mills. It's not the brightest of subjects, so bear with me, I apologize, but anyway, if this will work, okay. Just some of the objectives I have is just to inform you guys on what they are, persuade you to think about why they're a problem, and to educate you guys on the issues and consequences associated with puppy mills. So first of all, what is a puppy mill? I actually have a quote from the Humane Society that says, "A puppy mill is an inhumane commercial dog breeding facility in which the health of the dogs is disregarded in order to maintain a low overhead and maximize profits." So in simple terms, that just means that the people that own puppy mills have one primary goal, and that's just to make money. They don't care about the animal's health, and if they do, it's only so they can make money off of them. So the conditions that they live in are just really poor, and the people are only caring about making money. So why are puppy mills bad? There are 10,000 puppy mills in America, and over 2 million puppies are bred each year. They can be really bad because the main reason is that they're very inhumanely treated. They are given the bare minimum of food, bare minimum of water. If any, their food and water can be covered in feces and just all sorts of just nastiness because they don't maintain it very well. They also have no veterinary care, which leads to the next issue of health problems. There's a lot of health problems associated with puppy mills because diseases spread very easily because you have so many puppies in a small area. If one of them gets sick, they all get sick. The ASPCA talks about heart diseases, respiratory problems, kennel cough, pneumonia, a whole bunch of diseases that can come to the animals because that they were in puppy mills. They also have behavioral problems, obviously. They're not used to human contact. The little human contact they have is normally terrible, so they're very scared, very skittish, very scared of other animals and humans. And another quote from the ASPCA says, "Fearful behavior and lack of socialization with humans and other animals are typical of puppy mill dogs." So they're just going to be really, really scared of basically everything because they have not been treated well enough. They have a lot of implications to society. The biggest thing is that since there are so many puppy mills in America and 2 million of the dogs are bred there, that's a lot of animals that are being bred, and not all of them are going to get adopted. So that means that they're going to be ending up in shelters, they're going to be ending up on the streets. I actually went on a mission trip to Costa Rica, and I saw overpopulation there so much. There were so many stray animals there, so it's not just a problem here in America. The shelters that they do end up going to are typically kill shelters, which means if they don't get adopted within a certain time period, they're going to get killed off to make room for more animals that are coming in. So the fact that there are so many puppies that are being made from these places and not everyone is going to adopt them, that just means that leads to more problems with euthanasia and overpopulation. I have a lot of quotes. So another quote from the ASPCA in Georgia says, "Every purchased animal represents one less home for an animal in a shelter who will die for a lack of a guardian." So it's just a big problem. Another issue is that puppy mills are really generally expensive. For a puppy mill of 250 animals, it's about $500,000 to maintain that. And also people that do get dogs from puppy mills are going to have to deal with the health issues that come from them because they have so many health issues. They need a lot of veterinary care. It's going to cost them a lot of money. People also don't do enough research. That's one of the other biggest implications to society, is that we, in effect, can be supporting puppy mills subconsciously because we don't do enough research of where we adopt our animals. People think that they can go to pet stores and it's fine because pet stores, they're pet stores, that's where you're getting your dog, but what most people don't know is that 90% of puppies from pet stores come from puppy mills. So you're then, in effect, funding these mills to continue mistreating animals, essentially. One of the last things I want to talk about is the legality of puppy mills. A lot of you are probably thinking, well, are they even legal? Why would they be allowed to do this? They are technically legal. The Animal Welfare Act of 1966 is regulated by the USDA, and it basically outlines very minimum standards. So as long as they have the basic food, the basic water, the basic shelter, they're allowed to basically thrive. One of the other quotes I have from the Humane Society is, keeping dogs in cages or owning large numbers of dogs in most areas, that's not illegal. Like, people can still do that. They just need the bare minimum to keep them alive, and whenever in reality it's not enough to do so because they are still mistreating them. And obviously with everything, you're still going to have people that break the law. You're still going to have people that don't get properly licensed. And puppy mills are also not considered large breeding facilities. A lot of times they're individually owned, so it's just easier to hide under the radar or not get approved. It's also really hard for a bill to become a law. I mean, you guys have all taken government classes, I'm sure. Like, it's just a really difficult process with not enough support, and just it would be really difficult to try to make it a law that puppy mills are illegal. So I just have a short little activity of brainstorming for you guys. The first question I had is, what do you guys think are some signs, if you see a puppy or if you adopt a puppy, that they could have come from a puppy mill?
Behavioral problems.
Respiratory.
You can just...
Sickness in general.
Overbite and or underbite.
That's a good one, yeah. Because they can have physical issues too.
Inbreeding problems with their limbs.
Yeah, so those are all, the biggest thing that I can really say other than health problems is just behavioral problems. Like I said, they're going to be really shy, they're going to be really afraid of everyone. Also, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about, but I wanted to know what you guys thought beforehand. What do you think are some ways you can help prevent the spread of puppy mills? Like, what are things that you guys think you can do to stop them, just to help out?
We could pretend to be a potential buyer, and then maybe go in and then kidnap the dog.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I was gonna say buying from like local breeders or like rescuing a dog from a shelter and stuff.
yeah, awesome. So that was the last thing I wanted to talk with you guys about, is just what you can do to help. One of the biggest things you can do is just inform your friends. If you know someone who's planning on adopting, encourage them to adopt from a local shelter instead of a pet store, because not only are you saving a life, but you're not helping fund these puppy mills to continue to thrive and make money off of these animals that are being poorly treated. You can also ask pet stores where they get their animals from. Amongst my research, I found that you are allowed to ask pet stores, where did you get these dogs from? And they technically have to tell you. If they don't tell you, that typically means that they could be hiding something, and you might want to kind of watch that and maybe report if they're being suspicious. You can also report suspicious activities in your neighborhood. Like, if you think your crazy neighbor might be hiding a puppy mill in their basement or something, you can, let people know, talk to the police, say that you think they might not be up to code, different things like that. You can also donate and talk to government officials. The last three are really big for like the ASPCA and the Humane Society, because they're trying to do a lot right now to outlaw puppy mills, to try to pass a law that makes them illegal. So you can donate to either one of those, like the ASPCA or the Humane Society. You can talk to government officials. I mean, like I said, it's really hard to get such a big change in government, but change starts with one person. And the more people that are trying to make a change, the more change that can happen. And you can, like I said, you can also sign a petition, because, change does start with one person, and the more people, the more likely they're going to be to do things, if that makes sense. So just a brief summary, puppy mills are just really unsafe and for the animals that live there, and they're really harsh conditions for them. They can result in a lot of diseases and health problems and behavioral problems with these animals. They have really negative effects on society because they cost a lot of money, and there's overpopulation, and which leads to euthanasia and more animals in kill shelters and everything. And just consider where you guys adopt in the future. If you guys are planning on adopting, consider going to a shelter instead of a pet store, or ask the pet store where they got them. Just try to do your research and try not to indirectly support these terrible things. So these are my works cited. And that's pretty much all I have. Are there any questions? Yeah.
So you said adopt, don't buy, but
buying
from a reputable breeder for because I buy hunting dogs, so they're
Right.
usually from hunting line specific stuff. So that's generally accepted still.
Right. It's
Not
just
puppy mill stuff.
one of the reasons I put that in there is because what I actually am doing my poster abstract on is on overpopulation, and it's not so much that you shouldn't buy them, it's just more that if you adopt, you're saving a life. So that's where I was coming from, because most shelters in America are kill shelters. So if these animals that are going in there don't get adopted within a certain time frame, they're going to be euthanized to make room for more. So that was just my point there, was just always consider adopting instead of getting one from a breeder and everything.
Two-part question.
Yes.
First part you talked about as far as them being certified or legal. Like, what are the steps that make a puppy mill not a puppy mill for them to be certified?
I'm not 100% sure on how to answer that question. I mean, puppy mills are still going to be puppy mills, just some of them, I mean, puppy mills wouldn't be so bad if people took care of them and like essentially treated them like breeders, but because they don't, that's where it becomes an issue. I don't exactly know the steps. I didn't come across.
But do they have a certificate? Like,
yeah, I'm pretty.
Now my question's a three-part question.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that they have some sort of like certificate or something to, you know, allow them to do that, because they do have to technically be like looked at. They have inspections by the USDA typically, but so many times they, like, since they're not, like I said, since they're not really big, large-scale breeders, so many people individually do this, so they just kind of get by with not having to be inspected because the USDA might not know about them because they're not a large organization, essentially.
And what is the role of like the AKC with this?
Is that the
The
American
American Kennel.
Kennel? I'm actually not sure at all, to be perfectly honest. I haven't.
Because I've seen
looked
people
that up
say that
too
they're
much.
AKC certified and stuff like that as far as breeders.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a friend that breeds like cattle dogs.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that she has on her website.
Mhm.
Because she gets blasted for being a puppy mill. Because
Yeah.
people are confused as to what a puppy mill actually is.
Right. That would probably just be confusion, because I don't think the AKC would.
Well, I didn't know
go to a
if
puppy
that was
mill.
how they certified. I didn't know if that was
Right.
one of the methods of getting certification.
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but that could be a way, maybe. I just know that they get certified by like the USDA, and like they have inspections that are done to make sure that they're supposedly treated correctly, even though so many times.
So they're inspected like cattle operations and sheep, swine operations are inspected then?
Probably, yeah. So, sorry, I didn't have the best answer for that, but I didn't really come across the AKC in my research too much. So. Are there any other questions? Okay, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for listening.
So that's normally what is like the main thing that separates like legitimate